Yeah, how's it going, Tomer? How you feeling? All right. Better? Oh, that's good. Not entirely sure what I'm gonna work on. Oh my god, I did not sleep. I did sleep, but like barely. I got a call from my doctor. It woke me up like mid sleep, just to tell me that the appointment has been changed. And then after that, I just kept getting more and more calls. So I was just like, fuck it, let me just wake up. So here we are. We'll see what we're gonna do today. I might work on the cat, or I might like take a break from that for a bit. We'll see. I do want to keep doing level design for sure. So this is what we got on the. It's so silly. So I'm thinking we should create different states for the
Hello there.
Yeah, how's it going, back up? I'm thinking we should. I don't know. I was thinking of like recording what state the player is in, and then make the cat do something differently based on the state. So like if we dashed, the cat would disappear because that's the point of the cat. Like it's supposed to be a dash indicator. But also, if we jump, like, I mean, this looks ridiculous. But what I'm thinking is if you jump and you're, like, let's say the position of the player is lower on the y-axis, then all we need to do is just apply gravity, the same gravity to the cat, and not. So yeah, maybe like we would calculate the y positions and the x positions differently. Right now they're calculated in the same way. We just grab the point and the cat moves to that point. On the x-axis, it seems like it's fine, like it's not too jittery, but on the y-axis, because there's so much, I don't know, it's just a little crazy. But yeah, I think it looks good on the x. I mean, for now, I think it's as good as it can be for the x-axis. There's a little jank, and I'm sure once we add the animations, it'll look better too. Okay, let me see. I'll try to mess with it a little bit. Again, I don't want to mess with it too much today, but the color of currently is, I think, the outline color of Jacob actually is a little it might be different actually, but I think the Jacob is actually might be wrong, not the cat, but actually it seems like it's the same. Let me see. Oh no, it might be slightly lighter. I can't even tell though. Oh yeah, it is different. Why is it gray though? Because I feel like in this image, maybe we just never saved it? Where is it? Because it looks like it's correct here. Is it like this? Is it not? There we go. Looks like the same color, right? Wait, what the hell? It might be... Wait. The color seems to be off. I wonder if it might be because there's like something on top of the game or something. I don't know. It's not grabbing the color correctly. Someone developing in Godot. That's unfortunate. I'm so sorry that you have to go through that. Are you sure there's no one else? Let me try to find you a streamer. I wouldn't want to put you through this. What do you want? You want assembly? You want C#? There's a C++ with Coffee Lava. Neck 2. Neck 2, oh, Neck 2 is a Godot dev. You don't want them. Irishon, oh, thank you, Alex. But yeah, there are a few devs around. All right. Is this some sort of reverse psychology? Maybe. If it's working, then yes. Not too many game those. Follow You, Red Cabin, Shiny, Irish John, Soul Tunes. Not many more. Yeah, there are too many game devs, or like I guess maybe not too many consistent game devs. Those are definitely a lot of consistent ones. Are like who stream every day. I'm trying to think who else streams every day. Who's like a consistent game dev that you might not know of. I mean, I don't even know if Adam C. Eunice streams every day, but he streams pretty often. Aaron streams almost every day, I would say. Aero X as well. But yeah, it really depends on your sleeping schedule. He's always online. Yeah. Is my fan blowing into the mic? Oh, Sedlix is a good dev too. Sedlix uses I believe Unity, Clayman as well. But yeah, these devs like I see them online when I'm on my morning stream. Bum, bum, bum. Damn, I'm following so many devs. Mudbound Dragon, I think, streams around the same time as me. Or maybe a little later. Mudbound makes games in Pico 8. I'm from New York. But yeah, Shady. Mention them. Obviously, there are a lot of devs here that do stream consistently, but I'm trying to think of the ones that I watch, often that are like working on projects, consistent projects. How's the cat advancing? So, I mean, if you were here during the morning, we haven't made much progress, but we are brainstorming some better ideas. Been there, beautiful? Tomer bar. What were you doing, Tomer? You can raid alone, apparently. Am I following you? I am. From Spain, so going to New York is a big deal. Yeah, I think it's nice to visit. I'm actually sick of New York. Or, yeah, I'm kind of sick of it. I'd rather live in, like, some other, like, rural area. Yo, Bluish, how's it going? Thank you for the raid. What you been up to? Come to Valencia? I would love to visit Spain. Just did some cool interviews with folks from the top 20 GMTK game jams. Thanks for the shout out. You did like some cool, like you were actually like talking to them and stuff. That's pretty cool. I remember Bluish, we had a talk for a little bit, and I don't know if we ever caught up after that. I remember we had like maybe like a quick exchange on Discord maybe, and then and I think it ended there, but maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, that's awesome. Hope all is well. Been meaning to reach out. Yeah, I mean I would say it's also part of, like, it'd be nice if I could also try to reach out. I've been super, I mean, I won't say I'm busy. It's just, yeah, I do this, like, my schedule is pretty, I also don't even want to say I'm strict. It's just, like, I just do the same thing every single day, so it's hard for me to get out and, like, you know, something is out of the ordinary, like, you know, having a conversation with someone about doing something, you know, interesting. It's like put on the back burner, and then the first thing that like has a higher priority just takes over right away. But it would be very cool, you know, to collaborate in one way or another. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you again for the raid. I can show you guys what I'm currently working on. If you have any links you want to share, Bluish, by the way, feel free to. We downloaded this interesting cat pack. I actually found it a while ago, but it wasn't until last night that I was like, oh, we should add cat pets to the game. And so here it is, in the works. Life just got in the way. Yeah, I feel you. It's pretty bare bones. The movement is like, it's good, but I feel like it could be better. Yes, it's a very cute kitty. Probably have to speed up the animations based on the distance. Right now I think we like hard coded most of the speed, but like it might be better to like do something with that. The jumps, like right now it looks way too floaty. We did something where we added every single point the player was on for every 0.5 seconds, so the cat would like follow every single point, but it still looks kind of weird. It looks like the player's like, or the cat's kind of jank at the moment. No links now, but I'll try to reach out for the collab soon. I've got a lot of interviews booked for next week, so but I'm certain there'll be an opportunity. Oh, okay, perfect. I mean, yeah, no rush. I mean, I'm always doing like, no matter what, I have something on my plate anyway, so it's like, whether it's, you know, 2 weeks from now or 2 months from now, or even, you know, 2 years from now, I feel like I'll probably still be here. But yeah, there's our kitty cat. You like your game, man? Thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty good game, despite it being made in Godot, right? What's my commercial intentions? To make lots of moolah. No, I mean, it's hard to say because I've never released a commercial game. I do plan on releasing it commercially, like there is a Steam page already and everything like that. In terms of like, you know, it making like, you know, millions of dollars, definitely not. But what I do want to do is I would just like for this game to be to allow my like game dev career to be self-sustaining so that I could just keep doing it. So that's like, while I don't care too much for it to be like, you know, a commercial success, I would like for it to do decently well so that I can just keep, you know, either keep working on this game and like keep making updates to the game, or to, you know, have this game be the, you know, the precursor to my you know, next project. Self-sustaining, by self-sustaining I mean like for me to, you know, do these streams at like, you know, in the same way that I'm doing them right now, and be able to afford, you know, everyday cost of living is what I mean. Truly is, yeah, that truly is the dream. And I think it's definitely possible, especially since I'm pretty frugal with my life. Like I don't really spend too much. But yeah, I mean, I've heard like, you know, there's always like financial nightmares where it's like, it's not really, you know, your everyday cost of living that can cause problem. It's, you know, it's the, you know, maybe the medical bills, you know, the unsuspecting bills that like come into play, and then, you know, yeah. Best of luck. I'll see you around Bluish. Peace. Thank you again for the raid. But yeah. I'm an engineering manager, but I'm tired of it. Yeah, I haven't worked too much like professionally, at least not as a programmer. But I did work in like, you know, in, I would say, not too long too, and it was mostly a part-time job in like a corporate environment. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really too into it. I love the idea of indie stuff, like just work, you know, I don't know, something about like, you know, one, just managing your own I mean, actually, I don't mind not managing my own project, but I do like the smaller scale stuff. You know, it feels like you're actually a part of something, and you're like, you know, it might sound corny, but like, you know, yeah, it feels like you have like a huge impact, especially on something like that's, I don't know, if I was a part of like a project like this game, but just, you know, on a larger scale, it would feel amazing. And I mean, you can say the same thing about AAAs, like working on a AAA game, but I feel like at a certain point, when there's too many people, it feels like, you know, you're just a drop in the bucket, or it feels like that for me at least. To be a drop in the bucket, I don't know. But also no shame in that either. Like, I don't, like, it's just my personal opinion, like, or my personal preference. I like the idea of just doing my own little thing, being in my own little corner of the internet, doing my thing, would be nice. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. It's just how self-sustaining it is a different question. Without really getting the bigger perspective, yeah, exactly. Work in a company like Uber, but Spanish. I see. Okay. Very interesting. Yep, I would say I'm still very, very early in this whole like game dev career that I'm trying to make. I'm fortunate enough to, you know, not have to worry at the moment with bills, like, you know, like rent, because I live with my grandparents. So it's, you know, it's easy to keep the bills low. In fact, they can almost be non-existent. Besides for like things like a phone bill that I don't even use my phone, but I do have a phone bill. Yeah, I feel like that's something that you kind of need in the modern day. Take advantage of it. I have a son. I'm on the other side. Yeah, yep. I'm sure your son is grateful. Hopefully, I know I am for not having to worry. Like I wouldn't mind if I had to worry about it, but yeah, I definitely probably would have to have like worst case scenario. I probably would have a second job or like a part-time job to manage bills. Like I'd probably have like roommates and stuff, and we'd probably be streaming half as much, or maybe even less, because a part-time job could be a huge drain. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, he does not know yet. Teb. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I mean, it's even debatable if they know what life is at 18. So I know. Me being 18, I was still very silly. Not that I'm that much older, but yeah. I look back like even 2 years, I'm like, oh, wow, I was such a child, you know. But yeah. You can say that at any, yeah, pretty much. But I'm wondering, like, at what age does that end? You know, you're already 80, and you're like, oh, I was so naive back then. But yeah. Yeah, how's it going, Shady? How's the release coming along? Yeah, life is wrong. You always learn important things too late. Yeah. All right. So, that was a great 22-minute intro. But the new demo is out. Nice. Hell yeah. Congrats. All right, let's try to figure out what we're gonna do with our cat. So right now we're manipulating the. See? Let me see. Better gameplay flow. Got buffed. Now do 3 times damage it was before, being actually useful now. Nice. Improved sound design. Wow, there's a lot of updates here. Better end of game summary. Oh, look at that. Who's that right there? Oh, you guys can't see it. Look who's that right there. Memento Mori. Oh, and the new boss. You added the new boss? Fun stuff. The first big boss encounter for scenario mission has been created from a live stream community redeemed. Nice. Oh fuck. Why am they making me I have to go through Steam to like it. Not that I feel like it doesn't really affect we said we were going to treat ourselves. Did I do enough to treat myself to getting stream avatars? Or no? Let's see what we do at the end of this stream before I get stream avatars. Nothing quite like Practical's chat for promoting your game. /s. Let me see. What the hell is it? Escape space. Oh yeah, you're gonna get like so many likes now. Steam is gonna recognize it. Every time I do that, I get 2K new wish lists. Wow, that is amazing. Escape room in France with the same name. Escape Simulator. Oh, I bought this game a while back. I returned it though. It was pretty bad actually. It's just not the. It was not what I was expecting. Escape. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. To do those even on Steam and the likes on it, but hey, what could go wrong? I think it helps the events. I mean, it'll slightly help. It knows it. It at least reminds people who might want to wishlist your game that you are making updates. So it is good. I would say it's good. It shows that, yeah, exactly. It shows that the project is active. So if it doesn't help with the algorithm, at least it'll help with like first impressions. Like I should do one too, ASAP. I don't think I did one for version 4. I think I said version 4 is coming out. I never did one actually for version 4, but I guess we'll do one when version 5 comes out. Or version 0.5. Alright, so what do we want to do with the cat? Here. We wrote some shenanigans this morning, but I feel like I was already sleep deprived at that point. Not only updates like, hey, I'm implementing a cat. Yeah, true. You're not wrong. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so currently we have our cat represented with a C following the player on the x-axis, represented by a P. And so what we could do on the, I'm trying to think, on the, we can always apply gravity to the player on the y-axis. Onto the cat on the y-axis, so it'll always be, always be down. Let's say if the player enters the jump state, maybe we should put the cat in the jump state as well. Once it's going into the next point, and then it'll stay. I'm wondering, it could stay in the air. Let me see. I really don't know. So if the player jumps, what is the gameplay purpose? Let me ask you, what's the purpose of colors for your ship? Huh? No, I'm kidding. I'm sounding way too defensive. It's gonna be a dash. It's like it's mainly a visual thing, but it's also it'll be the dash indicator. It'll show like if the cat disappears, that means you don't have your dash anymore. I don't know how noticeable it'll be for the player, but it will be one that'll be the functionality, the main purpose, if that's the word that you want to use. But in terms of everything else, it's technically kind of pointless. But it's very cute. What's the purpose of? Let me ask you, what's the purpose of owning a cat? Having a cat for a pet? That cat will be strobing in chapter 4. Do 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 do. All right. So if the player jumps, we record. You know what we could do? So I was thinking, at the entrance of every new state, we can also add a point. So yeah, right now we have like a timer that's like, oh, you know, every 100 milliseconds we update the player's position, or we update and say, oh, this is the new point of the player. So, you know, and this is what gives it that like jank look, because every 100 milliseconds we're updating the, oh, what the hell? Where's my, dude, I hate this. What the hell? Every 100 milliseconds we're updating the new point, or this is if we add the points, which I think that's what we're doing right now. Let me see. I already forgot. We might change things around. Yeah, okay. So right now it's actually only 2 points that we have to worry about. And that's why the player, like, or the eye, or yeah, the cat doesn't really like zigzag anywhere. But originally what we did. Wait, flying cat? Yeah, it's a flying cat. So this is if we add every point. If we add every point. Which I don't want to, you know, put off the table just yet, because like I think it is a valid way to make the player move. We would just have to, or make the cat move. It would just have to be, we'd have to figure out some other stuff with it. The current state though is what we have a point. The cat goes to that point. If the new point is 16 tiles away. All right, here we have this point and we have this point. If the new point, if 16 pixels away, let me call this 0. And this is 2. 16 away. Oh my god. If 16 away, we'll just say, you know, 1 is equal to 2. So that's, you know, this right here. This is what we're currently doing. And now, so this makes it look jank. So this doesn't look jank. Doesn't look jank, but it also doesn't look polished. Or also doesn't look too cool either. Yo, Cloby, how's it going? And thank you for the 69 bits. Yo, how's it going, Elenos? There's my hydrate. But yeah, so that's the current problem. And what I'm thinking right now is we can record all the states. So also, this is all done on the timer. So every 100 milliseconds, whether we're using this method or this method, it's just updated within 100 milliseconds. So it's always updating. But what we could do instead, another method for recording, is just checking what state the player is in. And like, we'll still run this timer. Let's say if the player is only in the movement state for a really long time, we do want to keep updating the position. But let's say the player is super fast and the player is entering, let's say the player enters the jump state, or let's say the player is entering the dash state. Actually, right now, if we do it this way, where we check if the size is greater than 2, and we're constantly always replacing this one, this could be what we do for the move state. But for, we'll say this is for, move state only. Player move state only. But what we can do, let's say the player is, cat. Say the cat, the player enters the jump state. The second the player enters the jump state, we're going to add another point. So let's say we'll turn this into 2. This new point would be 2. The end of the jump state would be another point. So then this would be 3. Also, Kobe, again, thank you for the 69 bits. I think that's the best amount of bits you can send someone. Clonin, how's it going? 3 would be here. And I think what would happen is if the size of our array, like let's say usually it's like, 1 and it's 0 and 1, like it's always updating 1. But if it so happens to hit 3, or maybe if it hits 2, we want to update the cat's position to be, let's say 1 is right here. It's like 100 milliseconds. It took 100 milliseconds for this spot to be calculated. Here's 0. Although 0 could technically be like, I think 0 could technically be here. Publish a blog today. Nice. You want to send it? You can check it out. Is it ChatGPT generated or assisted? Just curious. It's not my personal blog, just for work. Already had a few video responses. Oh, I see. Gotcha. All right, so whenever our size is greater than 2, or whenever it's greater than 2, we would rush this process. So like right now, the speed of the player is, like whatever, 80 pixels or whatever you want to call it. So 80 pixels per second. So yeah, our speed here is 80 pixels per second, but the second point is added, so like let's say the player enters the jump state, we're gonna want to rush them to the next point. So let's do this. Let me scroll down a little bit. So most of the time it's going to be switching between 80 and 160, or we'll mess with the values. I don't know what the speed of the cat is going to be just yet, but we'll say if the size is greater than 2, so if it's, if there are more than these 2 points, we speed up the player. Maybe we even ignore the second point and we have it, like basically tell it to dash to the next point. I don't know if it's going to be a dash, but we'll say dash to the next point. Or like teleport to the next point. Maybe that's what will get us like better movements, is if we have it like teleport or dash. Are you using a mouse? I'm using a pen right now. And I have terrible handwriting. Dash to next point. thank God. Why? Why do you say thank God? Do you save all the paints? If it looks good, I save it. If it looks like shit, then I'm like, whatever. This looks pretty decent, so I might save it. Though you're incredible writing with them. No. I do know, I think, I don't know, have you guys ever had to watch, or like, you know, just watched, was it, Khan Academy? I'm pretty sure the earlier videos of Khan Academy were made with a mouse, and I think he has like really good handwriting with a mouse. It was always impressive, I think. But yeah. So we dash to the next point if the array size is 2, and then it handles the same thing. So like if the distance here is, you know, then we just do the same functionality that we've been doing so far. I don't know what this will look like once we put it, you know, into action. But we can give it a shot. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Do you always use Paint for annotations? Yeah. I mean, sometimes we use Oblivion Obsidian for like notes and stuff, but yeah, most of the time it's Paint. Not relevant to the conversation. Not too fast. I think it's what's the average? Whatever the average is, I think I'm pretty close to the average. Maybe just slightly above average. Or that's what I tell myself, you know. I have a completely average typing speed, okay? Would really love some handwriting integrations. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. You spend a lot of time on your keyboard? Yeah, maybe. We'll test it out one of these days. But I feel like typing speed doesn't really matter too much, because I feel like at a certain point it's like you can type faster than your brain can think, or like you can type faster than, you know, your brain can produce more valid information, you know. Like obviously you can keep spitting out words, but like at a certain point you need a second to think. Like for instance, like programming, it's not like I can be like, all right, let's keep typing, let's keep let's keep hacking the mainframe, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, yeah, rapid prototyping. But yeah, handwriting integrations into Obsidian would be really cool, actually. I agree. Oh, there's Excalibur as a plugin. You know, I will say there's a beauty to using Paint though. I love Paint. I'm not gonna lie, I do like Paint. It's like a meme, but it's also like, that's pretty decent. Yo, how's it going, Kent? Fastfingers.com, is this the oh, is this the typing test? 150 words per minute, 197. Oh my god. I don't want to do this right now. We'll do it. We'll do it later though. I'll keep it on the side. used to draw and write stuff on Leonardo, paid infinite whiteboard software, and take screenshots of that whenever I wanted to include it into Obsidian. I see. I tried. There was a software called. Do I still have it on my desktop? Forgot what it's called. I had it on my desktop. I know. What's his name? Grumble of Pugs uses it. It's like it's made with Godot too, but it turns everything into like vector art. But yeah, my issue is that like I like the convenience of like, you know, just saving it and then it turns into a PNG, and then if I ever want to, you know, mess with it later. Leonardo, the one Adam uses. Fantastic when you have a tablet. But yeah, can't complain about Paint. It's good for what I want. I also like, you know, I also am a fan of like software that doesn't have like I usually I like zero fluff software. Like I mean Paint, you know, it's just like it was even a bit much for me to switch to Obsidian. Like I used to just use you know, like the default sticky notes on Windows. Like I used that for a long time because I just like the idea of just like you would like zero fluff. Yes. Welcome, Big Orly. So yeah. It's one of the reasons why I like Paint too. So if array dot size is greater than 2, we say dash to the next point, so it'll go just faster. And we want to add like a dash state or something. That'd be really cool. 10 fluff uses Godot. Godot doesn't have fluff. Maybe Godot isn't efficient, but I wouldn't say it has fluff. I mean, yeah, I guess anything compared to not creating your own engine is, I guess you would consider fluff, but yeah, I don't have the brain cells nor the patience to make my own engine. Okay. Even with your own engine. So you're saying you have to make everything in an assembly or something? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that needs to be done for this to look good. Like this makes sense in my brain. Oh, this is also if we start increasing. So this is specifically for the move state. And only for the move state. So only if the player and oh yeah, we said player move state only right there. Whoops. I guess I'm already repeating myself. But also the cat also needs to be only in the move state for this to work. Right directly to computer memory. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Let's do this. I don't know if this is gonna work. Movement. If we can continue this conversation, we'd end up... Everything leads back to just creating the next Big Bang. Nature is inefficient. Nature has lots of fluff, yeah. Someone needs to freaking update. Someone needs to refactor nature already. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. You need to make your own computer first. Yeah, how's it going, little sheep 68? r/outside. Non-major nerd. Welcome, welcome. Trying to watch some Godot? Well, here it is. I'm also watching Godot. We just stare at the screen all stream. O/S. Okay. So right now this is the. Okay, wait. It's gonna be weird because. All right, wait. Let's go back to Paint because there's one thing. Right now we're doing this. We're only gonna be doing this if the player is in the movement state. So okay. If player is in movement state, we do this. If the player isn't in the movement state, we keep. We update. All right, I think I got it. Actually, it's relatively simple. So right now we're actually adding point to path, and we're saying if the player position points is greater than or equal to 2, we update the path. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna rewrite. We're probably gonna rewrite all of this. Should I make it like we already have a follow player. What we're gonna want to do is check the state of the player. And maybe we'll call this like add move point. Let's just we'll speed run this. If it works, we'll clean it up. Func check player state. All right, and we'll just say match player dot state. On move state, we're gonna say player dot states dot move. So if the player's in the move state, we want to do this whole add point to path. Should we update this script, or should we just make another? Should we call this like add movement point or something? Let me call this add movement point. All right, you know what? Let me instead what I'm gonna do is copy this in case we want to come back to it. I'll comment this out for now, or you know, leave that the way it is. Say okay. Add movement point. So if the player is in the move state, add movement point of player.global position. In all other states, I think. Wait, I'm trying to think. The jump, dash, climb. I guess climb state would also we'd want it to be a little slow. But let's ignore that for now. Let's just do, you know what, I'm going to say if instead of doing a match, because I'm not sure. I don't want to handle every single state right now. We're just going to say if player player dot state is equal to this. Else we're going to do additional point. You know, we'll probably put all of this into this script here. We already duplicated it. Okay, so add movement point, and I guess we can include like add another point. Append point. So for now, if we're in the movement state, we're gonna say this is false, and otherwise add movement point on a player global position. True. So for anyone interested, I can show you guys what we're working on. For anyone new to the stream, we're trying to add cats to the game, or like we're trying to add a pet cat that follows you around and is like super, super cute, does its thing, has its own life, but also like is smart in following the player. It is gonna have like superpowers, like if you get away too fast, it'll teleport to you or something. But the issue currently is that it's kind of jank how it follows you. You can see like we're just recording one. If you look at the thing being spammed on the bottom, we're just recording 2 points at a time. So like the previous point and then the next point, and if the next point is 16 tiles away, it just updates. But yeah, you can see it's like, I mean, it could be the animations. If we made it a flying animation, maybe it'll look better. But I also want to see what we can do. If you've ever played Celeste, there's Battleline, and Battleline, whenever she chases you, like in one of the escape sequences, it's sort of like she just follows whatever position, whatever your last position was. And I kind of want to create like a hybrid between that and this movement. So it'll be like, oh, you move to this position, and then 1 second later, the cat moves to that position. But the cat's only going to move to that position if you moved to another position previously. But we also want to make sure that the cat is close. So there's like this, I don't know, there's a bunch of edge cases that I want to put into the movement of the cat. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but yeah. It kind of just flies to. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's not, I mean, it could work if we create like, I mean, we do have a lot of animations that could make this like look pretty clean. Like, I don't know, we can even do that. Like, this freaking looks cute too. Like, if we just had it like, whenever we can even just leave it like this. Like, it could just be like, oh, I'm just floating around, or like even this, like these are really cute. But we can also try to create like a bunch of different states. So like if the player is only on the ground, we'll only play the movement animation. If the player is idle, obviously we would play the idle animation. If the player is dashing around, we might make it so if the player is like jumping around, flying around, and a lot of our levels are like, if you look at the bottom right of the screen right now, we have a lot of levels where like the player is just traversing very quickly. So like there's almost no point in like making the cat try to follow that, and just make the cat just float towards the player. But yeah, we only started working on this today, the cat movement, so we're still trying to figure out what looks good and sort of like what's possible. And I mean, anything is really possible, but figuring out how to implement it is another story. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And this is what we're trying to figure out right now. So originally what we did was we just made, it's kind of just a quick recap. Basically, this is how it works. Currently how it works is the cat's position is always switching between, or it's always aiming for this point. And the second it gets to this point, it deletes itself and it goes for this point. But this point can always update. If, for whatever reason, if this point is further, so this is let's say this is hypothetically the player's new position. If this is 16 pixels away from the old position, we'll remove this point and we'll make this the new one. That's currently what we're doing. But instead, what we're gonna do now is, depending on what this only looks good if the player is moving like just on the same axis, like left and right. But if the player is dashing around, hitting springs, just basically zigzagging all over the screen, we want the the cat to like zoom to the next point and like catch up to the player, you know, as quickly as possible. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if this is the correct way to implement it, but we'll see if it works. So that's why we're checking, you know, if the player is in the move state, we're going to keep updating that first value here, this right here. But in any other state, we're just going to keep adding, you know, this is 2, we'll add a 3 if the player is even faster, but we'll keep deleting these points. So like the cat should be able to catch up. Like maybe we should never go past, you know, 4 or something, because the more points there are, maybe we want the cat to move faster and faster throughout the array, catching up to the player, you know, quickly. We'll see how it goes. So check player state. If we're in the movement state, we say append point is equal to false. And right now we're saying set 1. Otherwise we append it. So here, let me get rid of all of this. It's a little crazy at the moment. And the other issue is that we also have a timer that's checking for this stuff. What we want to do is, I guess we would put the timer here. We'll see, we'll always have a timer. But depending on, right now the timer says add point to path. Instead of saying add point to path on the timer, we're going to say check player state instead, and check player state is the one that's going to add the point. So here, let's do that right now. So we'll say check player state. You can even scale your animation speed to the I think we definitely do have to scale the animation speed. And yeah, the speed, also the speed, how the speed is calculated, I also think needs to be updated. Right now we just set it to, what is it? Distance 2. It's based on the distance to the player. This is like some arbitrary value we created, but it works currently, and we cap it at 160 and, actually, yeah, we cap it at 160, between 160 and 32. How's it going, Half Moon?
Hello there.
But yeah, we'll figure all of that out in time. The speed could be updated, and the speed might even increase. You know, right now the speed is like, it's the same for every state, but maybe if the player is in the like, you know, if the amount of points that we have is like 20, you know, for instance, we want to keep increasing the speed. Maybe we'll create like another, like, you know, times, instead of saying times 2, we'll say times the position array, you know, or like times the you know, how many points we have left. That would be a good value to actually multiply it by. Since 2 is usually the average, if we only have 1 point, the player, you know, the cat would slowly walk towards the player if it's only, you know, around 16 tiles away, and if the player is like, you know, has dashed 1,000,000 times, then the speed of the cat would be like times 5 or something, or, you know, whatever the new array size is. I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna mess with it just yet. I'm gonna keep everything consistent for now. So let's say check player state of player. Right now we're saying level manager.player node. I feel like we should put this, like, we should directly access this, but for now I'm just gonna keep doing it this way. We'll say this, and I'll just comment this out for now. Player state level manager. So we check the player state. Right now it's gonna do the same exact thing. If append point. So usually we'll say if append point, do all of this. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Come on. Otherwise, we're going to say append. Oh, sorry. Not if not append point. We do this. Else, we'll say just append the point automatically. And okay, so if the player is in the move state, we do this. If the player is in any other state, we just add to the point, no matter what. And then just a bunch of stuff to do. Once again, I see. Okay. Well, I hope those things are manageable. Shouldn't the cat have the same character controller as the character, but with different input and some minor tweaks? So the issue with like having the player or having the cat have the same exact controller, well, it depends on what you mean by like controller, because like we kind of talked about this this morning. If you like give it the same exact physics as the player, and it's delayed, like let's say the input is delayed. Let's say for some reason the delta value changes between frames. Not that usually it won't happen, but let's say it does happen. Like, I don't know, for instance, like, I don't know, there's a huge calculation for one frame or something, and then something is inconsistent, then it can ruin the cat. And then we can do something where like and then, you know, the fix would be, we do those calculations, but then once in a while we do a correct fixed delta time. Yeah, we can try messing with that, but yeah, that was like my initial idea, or my initial idea was just to do it like have it have its own movement. We could mess with giving it the same exact movement, but yeah. Yeah, I would have to explore fixed delta time. But let's say we don't have that and there's something that happens, we would mess with the global position, but at that point we might as well just use, you know, global positions to record all of this stuff, and remove all the unnecessary like extra calculations. That's my attitude. I mean, this is the first version of the cat. Like we definitely will probably update it from time to time. If we can find something better, then we can do it. But the input is different. When the car does something, it orders the cat to also to do it also, was what I was thinking out loud though. Just another approach. Yeah, so everything the character, so that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the states of the player. So like if the player is in right now we're only checking for the movement state. So if the player is in the movement state, we do, we add the point. Otherwise, yeah, let's just see. Okay, I don't want to open too many cans at the moment. It's a lot right now, even with this. Even if this seems simple, I feel like it's already a lot to figure out. Okay. Oh wait, this is the wrong script. Whoops. I'll leave this here. We're not gonna mess with it too much. Let me close it. Just thinking out. Yeah. I appreciate it. So we're doing this. We're still adding the point. I'm trying to think. So no, instead of, if we want to, here, let me actually just see what this does. I'll print out the follow target. So right now, if player points.size is greater than 2, it's greater than or equal to 2, we tell it to move to the next point. The script's a little crazy too. Also, we don't use speed. Let's get rid of that. All right. Whoops. Let me print this out. The other thing that might be concerning is that currently, we are, adding these movement points after every 0.1 seconds, but we might want to do it whenever the player changes a state. So right now, every 0.1 seconds, we're checking, oh, is the player in the move state? Then we do this. If the player is in a different state, do this. But sometimes the player is going to be, the points are being added, within those 0.1 seconds, which is not correct. We would want to, either send this. Yeah, I think the only way to do it is to send a signal to the cat. So the player would have we'd create a new signal on the player saying, state changed, and that's when we run check player state. Both we'll do it both with timers and with checking the player state. So the cat is always following the player, but if the player starts to move really quick, we start updating it, more frequently. Even though 0.1 seconds is a lot, but we want exact points of the player because, let's say we just updated the player's position. Let's say the player is let's say we just added a point right here, but we just added a point, and then within the 100 milliseconds, the player has, let's say we added a point right here, the player starts moving this way, and then the player starts jumping. The next 0.1 second increment could be right here, and so we're telling the cat to move to this position, but I would much rather have the cat move to this position. And then, within that 100 milliseconds, or maybe at the end of the state, we tell the player, or we tell the cat, hey, go to the position where the cat or where the player was at the end of their jump state. Or this could be a dash state. It would be really cool, if the player goes from here to here in the dash, and they're like, oh, boom, I'm here, then the cat's going to be like, oh, you just dashed, I'm going to dash too. So they go like that, something like that. I don't know. The cat is able to cute, exactly. That is the main function of the cat, is to cute. All right. Where were we? Oh, position points. Player position points. So we're gonna have to update this, but for now I'm gonna leave it the way it is because I don't even know if this is gonna work. Just adding the point, maybe we should actually run this not on follow target, but on add movement point, so we can see what's going on. And we'll also print out if we were appending the point, or appended point, we'll say. And we'll print this at the end. That way we can actually see the new updated information. You better have it per idle sound. Oh, that's also, for sure. It's 4D here, so I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, peace, Alex. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so you can see it's updating. It's basically a hybrid. So you can see we're at 1. If we start moving around, if we're really quick, we're quick with it. Let me see. Well, right now it's always 1. But I mean, it seems to be following the player correctly. So I'm not gonna complain about that. It seems to maybe be catching up to the point of the. See. No, here it's 2. Position points is at 2. Which actually, I mean, I think it's fine the way it is. And then you can see it's still jumping around, or if we do this, it's gonna keep going up and down. And it's weird how it's following the player. Because it's within those 0.1 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our player and we're going to create a signal. I don't think we have any. Let me see. Manage grab UI. I mean, I barely ever use signals. But I think we have to use it for this one. I'm trying to think what I guess what we could do is directly tell the player to, we can have a reference to the cat from the player, but I'm just gonna make a signal. I think it'll make my life easier for now. So what we'll say is signal state changed. And we'll just emit the signal on enter. We could do it on enter state or change state. I guess we can say it. Yeah, right here we'll just say emit signal state changed. Fall's a bit slow, so yeah, it's not done yet. It's not going to fall in the same way. Oh no, something's happening. What's happening, Pegorly? All right, so print. What were we doing again? All right, so we are appending points from the timer. I'm trying to think if jaw wings, yeah. So that is one of the solutions, but I feel like it's sort of boring, the movement. I think that's going to be the worst case scenario, is that we just have the cat following the player, like, you know, it kind of just flies towards the player with an offset. But yeah, I like this idea more. Mathrim, how's it going, man? Thank you for the raid. Too many tabs with NPC in them. Are you like watching every streamer and then you find out, oh, they're just raiding practical NPC? How's it going, Mathroom? All right, so in the ready function, I don't know. I wonder if we could do it here. We might have to do it in the world function. That way, yeah. Let's see. Connect. Yeah, it might not work. We'll say. Let me see. Level manager. Dot player node. Yeah, we might have to do this. Might have to do this in the level manager or in the world. I'll do it in the level manager for now. Or we should have like a completely different singleton. Frustrum culling / room rendering. Having performance issues on big time apps, even 90% of the tiles, even if 90% of the tiles are off screen. All right. We could do this on the ready. Here, let me see if this works. It might not work, but if it does work, we'll leave it like this for now. But I think eventually we want to do this via the level manager. We're going to say level manager dot player node dot connect. What was it? State changed to self to check player state. Oops. Just figured out someone freely tested your demo and released a video about it. Nice. Are you asking me, Pregorly? Are you asking Mathram? Boom, boom, boom. On behalf of Mathram C? Oh, I see. So I mean, I feel like how I handle my rooms would be a lot different from how Mathram is doing it, because his game is all in one scene, whereas in my game, it's separated into rooms. So I wouldn't know how to efficiently do it with like a large tile map. For me, what I do is, you know, I just keep rooms that are adjacent to the room that the player is in the tree. So like, you know, if you're in this room, it's only this room and this room and this room. Or if you go into this room gets removed. If you go into this room gets removed. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I do it. But obviously, Mathram has like an entire huge tile map, so it'd be completely different. Unless you like separated each section into like its own tile map section. I don't know if that's an approach, but that might be also, I don't know. I'm sure Mathram has figured out what works out for him better. Thinking of separating into separate tile maps. Give me 1 second. I hate when the chat does this, where like I have to like reload the chat. So I always get this notification where it's like, "Oh, add Mathram as a raider guest," and it like blocks the text, so I can't even see what you're saying. But yeah, what is currently playing too? Backroom Labyrinth. All right. So we've added the point. Oh, we need to add. I guess we'll add level manager that player node. How laggy is the game? It seems like it's fine for like my computer. I think for lower end computers they start to lag. And I'm also not sure if like this was also in the much earlier states of the game. You know, now we have like, I mean, most of the processing is still turned off. Like even the processing in this room is turned off when you're not in it. But yeah, I didn't see the harm in, you know, removing it. So I was like, you know, fuck it, let's just, you know, might as well remove it. You can see we're currently spamming. Oh, interesting. Alright, so you can see it's not actually going to the next point, and I think that's because we're checking distances here. Let me see. Performance issues if you shoot like over 300 bullets a second. I see. Have you looked into like bullet hell performance? Like how to improve performance for bullet hell games? think also writing in C# would probably help with that a bit. But yeah, I don't know if you're already doing this, but like recycling projectiles, it should be better. Someone would make a profiler for GDScript. It's really helps in these scenarios. There is a profiler, isn't there? Yeah. All right. Let me try to figure this out. I'm gonna run this again. It's weird. Oh, when we enter, right, because we're changing the state, so we've already added like 3 other points. What I also want to make sure of is if the player has entered a new state, we want to make sure that the timer gets reset, which I think is technically what's happening. I think that is already happening when we say add point timer node. Gonna go to sleep. I'll see you, Cozy. Peace. Append point else. Okay. Yeah, the timer is starting, but it seems like it's still... Feels like it's still running. It's still adding points here. It's not even 7 yet. Let me try also. So another thing that we're going to do, instead of multiplying it by 2, we're going to multiply it by the position points. What do we call it? Where is it? Player position points. Dot size. And so player's going to be zooming now, hopefully. And then if we dash... There's something, something messed up here. Very excited, kitty, yeah. Yeah, let's not spam. Or you know what? Let me change this timer to 1 second so we can actually see it running in action. All right, so the point is set to 1. After 1 second, it'll update. Wait, what the hell? Let me change this to 5 seconds. Fuck it. Oh, if 1 second isn't. Or are we updating it based on the... Wait, what the hell? Motion is equal to direction to current point. Calculate speed of player.global position. Position is equal to a distance to input position times Low-key feel like I should just rewrite this. We're running add point to path. We're not using this anymore. Let me not add point to path for now. Let me see what this does. Because once it reaches its new point, then that's what's updating the position. What the fuck? Are we applying gravity? What the hell? Why is it like... I guess the direction 2 is like very... Wait, let me see. There's 2 position points at the moment. A pen point true. Shouldn't it be a pen point false? We're not moving at all. Oh. We're checking if the player's in the move state. We're also going to check for states.move or states.idle. Or we can check if player is on ground or something, but for now I'm going to leave it like this. What the hell is it doing? I mean, the points that we're adding way too many points. I think we're overcomplicating the add points function. Because yeah, at this point we're already at like a high number of points. All right, I think I'm gonna rewrite this. Add movement point. I'm gonna get rid of everything. I feel like I should just rewrite it all. What's up with the cat? It's a new important mechanic in the game. All right. This was the old. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this too. We're gonna get rid of everything. Player state. Okay. So if the player's in the move state, it's gonna do its typical move. It's just gonna add that point. If the point is all right, so let's do this. Add movement point. Follow target, calculate speed. We'll leave this the way it is because this was decent. What's Pumble of Grugs doing here? Grumble Pugs is looking for new ideas, yeah. Grumble Pugs. Greatest Baba is you streamer. Sometimes they do game development. Sometimes they make a platformer. Here to steal things. All right. So let's try this again. Add movement point. So we add movement point of the player global position. So maybe we're just going to constantly add the points for now and see how that works. And then no matter what, if the player changes position, then the points get, like, you know, quote unquote, super updated. We'll do that. See how it goes. All seriousness, what's the cat supposed to do? The cat is it's going to be, it's definitely more of a visual thing. Like the amount of work that we're putting into it is mainly for the visuals, but it's also going to be the dash indicator, and it has a very high potential to be a part of the story of the game. And I'm also going to be adding it as like skins for the game. Like not necessarily it has to be a cat, it could be anything that you can unlock throughout the game. So like, so here's a cat, but we can also do, I mean, freaking brain thing that follows you around. Could also do a fox, theoretically. Porcupine, hedgehog, I mean. Whatever the hell this is. Stuff like that. How does it indicate the dash? It'll follow the player around, and when the player dashes, it'll disappear or make like some sort of poof. All right. If player state is equal to, all right, so we'll just say, what do we call it? Movement points? Player position points. Just trying to get it to follow the player. Not just follow the player, but like a smart form of following the player. Because we can just make it, yeah, just, you know, float around. But there's gonna be different states. Player position dot append, and then here, let's do this. If append point. I don't know if we're gonna do it this way. Let me think. Yeah, let's try it like this. We'll say append point, and then that's literally all we're gonna do, and then we'll set the timer to start again to check the player state, or add point timer dot start. Right now it's 5 seconds, but yeah, every time the player changes states, it's also gonna add a point. So on follow target, we're just gonna say, what do we use? Motion. Okay, motion is equal to Pikamoo. Thank you. See, I'm curious what it'll be used for. All right. Motion is equal to, so yeah, originally what we had working for the follow target was we kept updating this second position, so it would always just keep moving towards this position. But I think we're just going to keep having it go for this position no matter what. And from there, yeah, it'll just keep zooming around. But I think eventually if the player moves around too much, we'll just have it go to the next like significant point. Or have it, if the player changes to like, let's say the dash state or switches from the dash state, maybe what we'll do is ignore all other points and just have it move directly to this point. I think that's what we'll do. So if the player jumps, we'll switch to this point and we'll call this a like, quote unquote, like a significant point. And then everything before it will just get removed. And it'll just, I guess, directly dash to this one. I think that makes sense. We shall see. But if that's the case, then maybe if we say right now, instead of saying append point, since we're always appending the points, we can say remove previous points. That way it just directly goes to that point. Why not just have it lerp towards the marker that lives on the... It's weird. If you're just going to have it... we can figure it out. I feel like everyone's been giving me suggestions, and it's like it might work out, whatever you suggest, but it opens like a whole other can of worms. I'd rather just figure it out this way. Yeah, I appreciate it, though. So we might just I'm going to leave it the way it is for now, but I think eventually what we might do is, yeah, if the player enters a new state, just remove all of the previous points. Build this but for keys in your game? I see. What I'm trying to do is build like something like if you've ever played Celeste, there's like, the battle line fight where basically it's going to follow the player in that same like method, but also it's like going to be a hybrid between following the player but also smoothly moving towards the player if like things are calm. So like if things are calm, let's say the player is idle, the cat will start moving towards the player like in a regular fashion, but then the second this player starts moving like crazy, it's going to like dash around and basically mimic the player. So like if the player dashes around like this, then the cat's gonna go boom, boom, boom. Something like that. We'll see if it works well. But yeah, again, I want it to be somewhat of a hybrid between, like, almost make it feel like it has its own life. But make it have its own life, but also, be consistent. Because, like, yeah, previous versions, it looked good, but, like, it was also, I don't want to make it look cheap. Like, I don't want the player to just, dash around, and if the player's flying around, have the cat just float around and, like, just fly towards the player. I want it to just, like, mimic the player. Mimic the player, but also more like mimic and follow the player, rather than just mimicking the player. Or rather than just only following the player. Like, it's like both. I don't even know if I'm sure it's possible. It's just, it's going to take a lot of, like, keyboard smashing to figure it out. Player position points dot append. So we can do that. And then when we say follow target, we're going to say motion is equal to global position dot direction to player position points. At 0 times our speed. For now, I'm just going to say times 80 or whatever. And then if distance to, or if global position dot distance to this new this old point. We would maybe want to, yeah, I'll say like if it's less than or equal to let's say like 8 for now. If it's less than or equal to 8, we'll say remove the point. and then it'll just go into the next point. And then also, when it comes to the speed, right now we set it to 80, but depending on the size of the array, if it gets, like maybe we do want to calculate this, right now we're saying distance 2, but yeah, I think it might be better if we calculate the amount of arrays, or the size of our array, as like the speed multiplier. So if like the player starts moving hella, then the cat will move, you know. Or if the player keeps moving in different directions. Oh shit, what happened? Get index. Okay, so eventually we run out of points. I guess we'll want to not remove the last point. Or we can also run append another point, but let's just see if this works. Where'd you go? Come back. We should print the points that it's going towards too. Also, oh wait, we have to reset the motion of the cat. I'm not sure what our current array is, because I guess what we can do here is say motion is equal to 0. Alright, so this is based on, here, let me also print the array here. So this is, currently we're running it every 5 seconds, but if the player changes states, then it's a different story. So right now the array is 3 points. Right now it's 0. So every time the player moves, it moves. And then let's say we dash. Then it like it does actually do the thing that we want it to do, but obviously it's super slow. And then all right, so what we're gonna do now, also let's add the animations, because yeah, I feel like it makes it fun to watch while it's happening. So right now we say if the size is less than 0, I guess what we could do here is tell it to play the idle anim. We're actually gonna have to create like a animation player, but for now I'm just gonna say it here. Oh, not here. Here. And for now, let's say play here. Move. Is it move that we say? Yeah. Add point. Whoops. What's our animation? Oh, we don't have a. We don't have our animation player? Okay. It's so cute. All right. Here, let me say. We also want to match if. You know, let's just do this here. If actually, let's print this out. So direction to player times 80. We're gonna say times. I'm gonna try times 40, but times the size of our array. So player position points dot size. Hopefully, or what we might do instead of multiplying it by size, because it could get really fast, really quick. Let's see. So yeah, right now it's kind of slow. You might want to check the distance too. But let's say we start dashing everywhere. Oh my god. This kind of looks crazy. I feel like we might want to like remove some of the points too. Unless we can make it like... Let me see what else it can do. Because a new point is being added every time we change states. But reverse cat is awesome. So yeah, obviously the movement is still super jank. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. And we would have to add animation. The other thing is like, all right, so let's say we dash into this wall. See, it's not exactly on the wall. We want it to collide with the wall. I don't know if we would want to add an animation, because right now it's just following the player position. And I mean, maybe that's cool, but let me see. But yeah, you see how it went like boom and then boom. Something was weird. Also, it doesn't seem like it's fast enough just yet. Maybe we should increase the speed. Although, I feel like... Yeah, I feel like it should be catching up way faster, but it isn't. We can say times 80 maybe. Player position points dot size times 80. Let's give that a shot. Yeah. All right, so when you hit this point... feel like we do need to make it fly towards the player when it's when the player is super fast. I think we just need to make it fly towards the player. And then during the walk states, that's when we can animate it to look cleaner. Also, we need to put it in front of the need to increase the Z index here. Okay. I guess we can say direction to player instead of motion. It's the same thing though. Or direction to, yeah, motion. Yeah. Yeah, how's it going, Eternal Divine Fox? You should make the cat speed depending on the player's distance. Most likely, the cat speed increase the further it is from the player. Yeah, we can do that. We did that in the past. Right now we're doing it based on the amount of points that are added. So like if there are many points for the because the thing is, like, let's say the distance could be manipulated where like the player could be dashing around, you know, within a tight space, and so the cat wouldn't be following the player at like an appropriate speed. That's why doing it based on points is better. Let's say we're in a tight area where like the cat is like, or the player is, you know, just dashing around like this, or like dashing around like within this area, within a small area. The distance to the player is the same. So yeah. That's why I'm doing it based on points rather than distance. Maybe we can include points or distance as another like multiplier. But yeah. Still, there's something I don't like about this. I actually don't like that I don't know if there's going to be a good way for me to animate the cat following the player in the same pattern. Like, you know, moving around the same way the player is moving around. Maybe having it just follow, like, you know, fly towards the player during certain states. So, like, if the player is dashing around and the player isn't on the floor, then we'll have the cat fly. That might be the solution here. Let me see. Let's add a fly animation. One of these. See? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really like this one, this animation for the flying. Maybe we'll probably update it from time eventually, or even this could look pretty good for the fly animation. Okay, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 8, 2, 2, 8. That'll be our fly animation. I definitely have to add like more to this. Maybe like here, I'll do this real quick just for the sake of making it look good. We're gonna mess with the offset here. And we'll just make it bounce like 1. Add this key. Then back to 0. Add this key. Then -1. Add this key. And then back to 0. Might be too fast. Alrighty. This also might be too fast, but we'll give it a shot. So right now we're appending what we're gonna do. So if the player is in the move state or in the idle state, we created this variable like true or false, and we said append point. Actually, we might want to flip this. Also, okay, yeah. So right now our wait time takes 5 seconds, which is way too much time. But we'll leave it the way it is because we want to see how it reacts to the player when the player is like zooming around the screen. What I'm gonna say is if should I flip this? So I'll say true, false, or you know what? Let's keep this as true. And false. I'm gonna rename this to not append point but replace point. And what we'll say, I'm not sure if this is gonna be the right approach, but we're gonna try this. If replace point so right now we're calculating speed based on the size of our position points. Maybe we don't want to do that. If we're going to do it this way, because what we're going to do, if we replace all the points, what we're going to do is clear the array and set the newest point to be whatever the whatever the position of the player was at that new point. So it'll be yeah, I guess player point positions dot clear. Is there a clear? Isn't there a clear? Dot empty? Oh, no, that's not right. We want to remove everything. I guess we can... I guess we can just set it to 0, right? Or... to player position points dot append the new point, and then I guess then we would want to calculate it based on the distance to the point or distance to the player. Let me see what this looks like for now. But yeah, we still have this calculate speed, which is input position dot. We've been multiplying it. Let me see. By the size. I mean, actually, maybe we do want to keep that the way it is. Here, let me see what this looks like. Come on, buddy. It's a little slow. Seems to catch up right away until we switch states. All right. What I'm going to try to do too is over here. We could say it here too. Check player state. If the player state is in the move or idle, it really depends because like the player's position would also be based on like what the direction to player is, and if it's greater than, you know, and it also depends if the player was in like the idle or the move state or something like that in order to make sure that the cat moves appropriately too. We could add physics to the cat eventually, but yeah, this is still pretty bare bones, I would say. So I don't know yet, but I could say, let's try this out. I'm gonna say dot play see what this looks like. Dude, let me see something. So if we dash, we're constantly replacing the points. Let's do this calculate speed. Calculate speed based on distance to the position to the player. So direction, motion is going to equal direction to player times 80 times, I guess we could just say, we're already, motion is equal to direction to player. It's not direction to player, it's direction to point. Direction to times calculate speed. Of player position. Right now we're multiplying the size, but we're going to say just distance to. We could include another argument here, but for now, calculate speed. What's going on? Times direction to point. And we wouldn't say times 80 at this point because it would just be like that. Let's make sure we're spelling calculate speed correctly. feel like the speed should be even higher than this though. We might want to. Let me see. Not sure what the distance is. I'm gonna set this to 320. See if that speeds it up. Maybe set this to a 64. The wall jumps actually looked kind of good here. It wasn't even in a wall jump animation, but it looked clean. Let me see what this looks like. What's that, cat? It's a new it's a pet in the game. It's pretty jank the movement at the moment, but you set this timer to 0.1, so at least it updates relatively often. Let's see. There's some jank when it comes to it, you know, it's getting too close to the player. We want to give it like a floating animation. And maybe keep it further away from the player too. When it comes to the animations, I'm still not sure what we're going to do yet. for the like depending on what state, like, cause it doesn't really have states at the moment, or it might not even have states. We might just check, oh, is it close to the player? If it is, and if the player is on the, what we could do is record what the state is, what the state of the player is on when the final point was made. So yeah, we could record that. That could actually work. That way, if it's like, if the player is in the idle state, we bring the... We'll want to make sure that the cat, you know, hits the ground or like floats to the ground. Like you see right now, it's kind of just grabbing the global position. It's actually weird that it's actually perfect, the global position at the moment. I feel like maybe it's probably that our sprite here is what, like 32, let me see. It's 32 by 32, and I think that's what our player is as well. So it works out perfectly. When the player's global position is like aligned with the center. But I don't think that's what we I don't think that's what we want to do. I think what we want to do is add gravity to this. Because yeah, the sprite is already, it's not even centered here. Like if we look at the move state. Oh wait, no, it is centered. Let me see. No, it's not centered. So yeah, what we could do is create another array recording what state the player is in. So we could say player states, or yeah, player states, and it would just match the array. Let's say something like states is equal to that, and then whenever we append a point, or yeah, whenever we add any point, so we'll say we don't know what, I guess we do know the state of the player. We don't include it as an argument here though, and all we say right here is here, let me do this. What's the music playing? It's from Celeste. Resurrections by Lena Rain. Yep, no problem. Okay, so we have a reference to the player node. We might... Yeah, we'll say player node right here. Okay. And right here we'll say, yeah, player states is equal to this, and then player points, player position, player states dot append player node dot state. And then depending on what state the player is in, once we've gotten to, let's say, I'm not sure where we're gonna do this. I guess, yeah, once we reach to this, the thing is, okay, wait. If the direction to player on the y-axis trying to think. because there's a bunch of edge cases, I think. Let me see. Not only do we have to check what state the player is in, but we also have to check where is the player relative to the cat. So like, let's say we have our cat here. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Running out of space. Let's say our player is right here. Let's say our trying to think. So if our cat is like, if they're on the same axis, it isn't too difficult. We just say go into the move state. If the player is in the move and idle state, and we might want to check like direction 2 if direction 2 on the y-axis is like, let's say dt dot y is greater than 0.1, or I guess is less than 0.1. We'll say move animation. But that's just one state. There's so many. There's like, let's say the player is, let's say the cat is here and the player is up here. This is the most simplest one where it's like, okay, the player, jumped, for instance. And now we want to put the player into we might create a jump animation, or we'll just put it into the fly animation. Although jump animation, I think maybe jump into the fly animation depending on what's the next like state. But the thing is, yeah, it might look jank if we put it into the jump animation unless we make it like do some arc, or we can calculate, the player just did some shenanigans with their movement. I feel like that I can make it pretty complicated. I think we're gonna just stick to if the player goes up, if the player is not in or if the player is about to enter the jump state, then we want to put the cat into the fly state. So jump P jump is equal to C fly. And currently, I'm trying to think. The signal that we're sending right now of the player, when are we running this? Signal changed? Or state changed? At the end. Okay, that's good. So the state has already been updated. So we'll know if the player went into the jump state, we'll tell it, all right, enter fly. So yeah, let's do that here. Func handle animation. I'm not sure where we're going to handle this because, like, I think for now we're going to spam it, but I guess whenever the player state changes, or whenever we append another point, that's when we'll start adding it, or once we start moving in a different direction, that's when we want to do it. we would compare where the player is relative to the new point, or where the cat is relative to the new point, and we'll also check what state the player is in. Or maybe we also want to check the distance. If the distance is too great, then we put the cat into like a dash animation. We'll see. Okay, so distance to the newest point. I guess we can update it every time we are removing a point, because at this point we're going to the next point, unless it's 0, unless the state is 0, unless the amount of points we have left is 0. So yeah, I guess we could put it here. We'll say handle animation. For now, I'm not sure if this is the best spot for it, but it kind of makes sense. Like, we're not moving anymore, so like the next we'd be checking Zeltzius. Thank you. We'd be checking every time we end, but we're actually calculating it before we start moving, which I guess makes sense. We do want the animation to start playing immediately, so let's do this. If our, what do we call it, movement points, player position points, if player position points dot size is less than or equal to 0, or yeah, is equal to 0, we're gonna say play animation. Yeah, let me grab a reference to this. On ready var animation player is equal to this dot play idle. Okay. Elif. So I'm trying to think. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. But we can check. Okay, so if let's handle movement first. So if player states at 0 is equal to player node, oh my goodness, player node dot states dot move, we're gonna want to check a few states. I guess we can grab the current state. We can save our player current state. It's actually player, not current state, but the state current. I'm going to say current point state, because the player current state is different. Current point state is equal to player states at 0. Current point state is equal to player state. If it's equal to states.move, we're going to say player animation.play move. I guess we can match what state the player is in. Oh, but there's going to be, we're not going to handle every single state, so maybe not. We're going to also say or this, but states.idle. Then play move. But again, there's like a bunch of cases. So like, let's say the player is in the idle or in the move state, but the position of the cat is like you know, much lower, let's say we jumped onto a platform, then we still want to put the cat in the move state. So maybe what we'll say is if global position dot direction to player position points at 0, dot y, let's say, is greater than I don't know, like 0.2. No, let's say 0.1, and it's gonna be the absolute value of this. Then we're gonna say play the fly animation. But yeah, again, there's a lot because, okay, well, I guess this handles everything because otherwise we'll just play the move animation. So maybe we could maybe just say else play move. Let me see. Again, we might start introducing other states, but for now, we shall see. LF abs can't index y on float. Oops, direction to. Dot y is greater than 1. Okay. And handle animation. Is this all we need to do? Let's see. Alright, you can see the cat's on our ass. Like, it doesn't even... has no chill. It does enter... I mean, it does do it correctly. But I would say... See, why isn't it... Let me see. We said direction 2.y is greater than 0.1. Maybe that's... Let's try 0.3 maybe? Because we want to play the walking animation. At least right now. What the hell? Can't be more than let's try 0.5. So absolute dot direction on the y-axis is greater than 0.5. Wait, did I? Yeah, wait. No, it shouldn't be playing this. See? Here, fuck it. I'm gonna say 0.9. Why is it, something broken here? Started cussing you out. I wanted simple ifo. Why are devs really toxic? Yuki the second Dookie. I don't have an answer for you. I wouldn't say devs in particular are toxic, but, you know, people, I don't know, maybe they're just going through something. So, yeah. And especially through text, things can be miscommunicated easily. You might ask it, yeah, I assume you asked it through text. And, you know, maybe they've experienced toxicity in the past with, you know, maybe someone was like, just, you know, telling them, hey, like, you know, you're doing something wrong, or like, you know, making fun of them or something, and then, yeah, communication can be very difficult through text.
Hello there.
You need to imagine being in a position where you were asked the same question numerous times in bad faith. Yeah. I mean, that I'll say that doesn't, like, you know, that doesn't justify their reaction. But yeah, some people maybe are not, you know, capable of, like, you know, if you're a programmer, you know, most programmer, or I won't say most, but a lot of people are, especially in this field, are neurodivergent. They might not be able to freaking understand. Again, also because communication is very, very difficult through text. There have been probably so many times where I misinterpreted how someone said something to me. And it's like, it just really depends on how you're feeling at the moment. You can read something like, you did that well. And someone could have, literally, hey, you did something well. You can read that with sarcasm, or you can read that with good faith. Like, there's no way to know if someone is being sarcastic or not, for instance. Their choices are wrong. Yeah, that's true too. And not to say that that's what you did, but yeah. There are definitely possibilities that this person maybe just experienced, was rubbed the wrong way with someone who asked a similar question in the past, or, maybe they're just having a bad day. Again, not to justify how they reacted, but that is a way, that is there. So I guess it's important to understand why someone might have reacted that way. I say everything sarcastic, yeah. And it's hard too, like, especially on Twitch, because you're going to get a wide range of different people. You're going to get, either someone who's really young or someone who's, mature. And I mean, I get both. I feel like I think I can handle both, sometimes. Like, sometimes I can joke around, and sometimes I can handle being, talking to people maybe much older than me. And also, another question is insecurities. Maybe like, someone asks me, "Hey, why are you using Godot?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, the initial reason why I chose Godot, it was just, I would say that's kind of random. Is it pointing to the mouse? Yeah, you can use mouse movement as well. I don't have a feature yet to this. I mean, you can disable it in the options, but if you're strictly using keyboard, by default it's set to true, because I think most people will be using most people will be using mouse. But I prefer using See, like, yeah, I suck with the mouse. It's just because my muscle memory is from using the keyboard. But yep. Take it the wrong way and take a step back and take it as it is. Yeah, I mean, it's even easy to misunderstand someone in a vocal conversation sometimes, especially if you're having like an argument or something, or like, something like that. Then it's like, oh, you said this, but, and then you're gonna hear what you want to hear, Never touched Unity, as it seems like like the program itself, not game dev. Not game dev has a big learning curve. Not touch Unity, as it seemed like the program itself, not the game dev. But yeah, how dare you ask about the arrow pointing? Like, seriously? You're gonna ask people why they're using a framework, and now you're gonna ask why there's an arrow in my game? You're starting trouble in all streams. That's a joke. Hopefully you can sense the sarcasm. NPC is mad at me. I've submitted complaints to Human Rights Commission about him. Yeah. Hopefully they do something about me soon. I'm just I'm a menace. A menace to society. All right. Let's figure this out. State changed. So yeah, we're still the cat movement is still pretty. What's the little cat about? Yo, how's it going, Yagic? The cat is our new companion, new jank companion. Cat isn't perfect, but it's trying its best. That's all we can ask from it. What was I gonna do? How are you? I'm good. Where'd you get the background assets, by the way? Store or sprite them yourself? Very cool. It's a combination of both. A lot of it is bought by me. Bought by me, not made it by me. I buy them and then I do edit them a lot. So like for instance, let me see. I don't know what I did. These were commissioned. This was kind of a product of me. Like the back, I did buy the bookshelves, but I did make them into a tile map and like creatively tried to make them into a tile map. I kind of made the tiles in the foreground, although again, a lot of this stuff I kind of like scrape pieces of like assets that I find and I like plug them together or like edit them to look better. So yeah, same with like the background. Like I found these wooden planks and like they looked a lot different in the past, or like the asset that I got them from originally was very different. You plan on asking for commissions for everything? I mean, unless I'm capable of doing it myself. So the simple stuff, like, I mean, not simple stuff, like, I mean, I made, so for instance, I made the, oh yeah, you saw this chapter, right? Like the spikes here, I made that, so I was like, you know, I like it, you know, I probably will keep it. Unless I have extra money just floating around, you know, just magic money. And I'm like, oh, hey, let's update this. But yeah, most of the time. Oh, that's why we had a lower Z index. So we want to increase the Z index now of our platform because you can see like the spikes are sticking out. It's not supposed to be like that. Make you a stickman for $99. I think that's I would never want to steal from you, Nithir. I'm sorry. But yeah. Make you a dot for 10,000? Yeah, again, I don't want to steal anything from anybody. You know. Artists already struggle to make money. There are a lot of starving artists out there. I would not want to rip you off. Now, if you really want to get paid, I can pay you in exposure points. It's like a really good currency. It's like it's worth a lot of money. Exposure points is usually what I like to pay people in. It's like you know, it's kind of like Monopoly money, but digital. Hugs and kisses. Call it R and sell it to you for $9 million or $10 million. Again, I don't want to rip anyone off. Exposure points is, I think, the best form of payment that we can do around here. Yeah, that's a joke. Yeah, I really want to hire an artist. It's very difficult. I've been looking for an artist for a while, and I find like really good people. It's just their prices are kind of like, I'm on a super tight budget. So like for me to, you know, like, I mean, you can see I can show you, like, I have so many people in my DM. Like this person looks pretty talented, but like I already know. Let me see. I think they included 25. So 25 USD. I feel like it's good, but I also don't know the rate, like how many assets I can get. Heard the stock price of exposure is increasing, so better get yourself. Yeah, get yours before it's too late. Exactly. It's turning into the new gold standard. That along with fake internet points. Never considered taking time to practice pixel art. I do pixel art. I do pixel art a lot. I mean, don't draw any of these, but like I do simple stuff like static images. This stuff I commissioned, but like sometimes, like I made none of these examples I made, but I can show you some stuff. Like the skull in chapter 3. I don't know if you saw, here, let me see if you can see it in the video. If you look at the bottom right, eventually there's going to be like a skull that shoots lasers at us. That's something that I drew. But yeah, only simple stuff. I can't do it like this. I definitely cannot do. Or even like low res animations. Like I definitely could not do this. Even though it might look very simple, but it's pretty, I don't know. There's definitely a skill in like low res and good animations. Who's a great girl that I used to mod for and I recently found out has an OnlyFans. I quit modding for her because I just got tired of it. I see. It surprised you. Interesting. Would it surprise you if I told you I have an OnlyFans? It's only things. But yeah, this is really like definitely like a lot of talent in this. No, you having an OnlyFans is given. I see. It's a given. So I see you're you have a double standard, it seems. That's what it is. Yeah, if you don't have an OnlyFans, I think you're doing something wrong. I think you're doing game dev wrong. I think every game dev streamer has an OnlyFans. I mean, where else are you gonna find your fans? Like, it's already hard to build a community. How's it going, fourth page? Welcome to the stream. You came at a weird time. What did you join into? We're just talking about business practices. Growing your game dev studio, entrepreneurship. Yeah. Growing your studio? Did I say studio? Maybe I said something else. What's today? Today's Friday? Yeah, today's Friday. I think that's why this stream has been devolving over time. It's just decreasing in quality. You know, everyone's off from work. Everyone's just turning off their brains. Talking about OnlyFans again? What? We've never talked about OnlyFans. Alright, so, wait, let me turn off this idle animation because it's kind of jank at the moment. We'll figure it out eventually. Wait, oh, we're on the wrong script. Let me just comment this out for now. But yeah, if the size is equal to 0, I think we want follow target, calculate speed. Calculate speed is based on the distance to the player, or no, distance to the point. Oh, and we say if it's less than or equal to 8 pixels, we remove it, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna say 2. Or even 1. No, 2. For now. And then distance 2, the speed. Let's lower the speed to actually 32 or even like 16, so like it slowly approaches the player. 18,000 lines looks insane. You think my player code is only 18,000 lines? 1,800 lines, I mean. Yeah, the player does need to be refactored, but it's 18,000. Yeah. No, the player is like, at the moment, in its current state, the player is like, I want to say like 3,000, but yeah, it definitely can be refactored. 2,800. There's like but we can like, we started cleaning it up, but there's still way more to do, obviously. Like, I should be splitting all of our states into its own script, but it's too much at the moment. It works perfectly. Like, I haven't touched the player code in a hot minute. So, like, yeah, there's really no updates I need to make. So I was like, fuck it. Let's just leave it. The bottom right of the stream really pisses me off because it's covered with Twitch, like, pop-ups, like plugins. Sorry to hear that. All right. So yeah. So this is not too bad. It's not too... we do want to update the distance. I guess we could say... Can you pet the cat? I would love for that to be a feature. But yeah, I would have to pay someone to animate the player, and then I would have to pay the cat. Because the cat would need some sort of payment. I would have to pay someone to get the cat. Cat doesn't turn around. Yeah, it's a broken cat. We don't like to judge our cats around here though. Nobody's perfect. So like balancing the speed is a problem. Cause like right now balancing the speed, figuring out the distance to the player is like figuring out like the perfect distance, and then also making sure that it plays the idle animation when it's like on the floor. It's another problem. Also, why aren't we flipping it? Oh, because we wrote false false. If it's less than, we set this to true. All right, so there will be definitely world records. There are already speedruns. Hmm. So it's still pretty jank to me. I don't know what to do. We could make it just like a simple following animation, but it also seems like oh yeah, the add points, we're doing this every 0.1 milliseconds, which is a lot. I would say maybe 0.5 is good. Every half a second we update those points. And yeah, the minimum speed, I think how we're calculating speed needs to change. Right now we're saying minus 32, max is 320. Let me say, oh, I think we originally did times 2. I'll set this to 16 actually. See if that fixes it, or at least helps. What we might want to do is check what state the player is in before we... Oh, why isn't it, somehow an array? So, do we want to update the array? So right now what we're saying, right now if the points is set to 0, or I guess, wait, let me see. When do we... If the global position, player position, is less than 2, we say remove 0, and then we say handle animation. So handle I guess what we could also say here, we could still say handle animation, but what we want to do is say if the player position points, if the player position does not equal position player point, here, let me do this. I'll say this. Before we remove it, we're going to say if player position point does not equal player node dot global position, then player position points, or maybe what was it? What do we call it? Add movement point. or check player state. We would say add movement point. Let's say add movement point of player at a global position. And I believe this is false. There we go. That way, the size wouldn't be 0 until the position is different here. If the size is less than or equal to 2. Let's see. Oh, we're onto something. I think we got it. I do want the player to move slightly faster. Or I want the cat to move slightly faster. Also, does it enter the idle state? Can't tell because it's like super close. I assume it is, yeah. Let me see. We might have to mess with how we're calculating this. So like right now, maybe I want it to be, let's say 8 tiles away from the player. This might be weird though, because that means we'll keep entering the. Oh no, we don't. But yeah, what I think we want to do here, you can see as we keep moving across, then it enters the idle. If the position, I guess if the position is less than 0, we can add like a falling animation. If the size is less than 0 and the direction 2 on the y-axis is greater than, basically if they're not on the same y value, we'll wanna apply gravity to the cat. That way it drops down. Otherwise we have to keep doing this until they align. So I think that's what we'll do. But I'm cool with calling it here. We made some decent progress. It honestly doesn't look that bad. It literally was looking worse like 5 minutes ago. And I think we got something decent going. We do need to fix the animations. Make sure that it's sticking to the ground if the player is in the move state. Or on the idle, or if the player is on floor. I guess just align the player. Like we don't have to say go to the ground, since we're not really doing. No, I don't think we're gonna run physics on the cat. We'll just have like emulated fake physics. And we're going to do some more animations for the cat once the player enters the dash state. It'll be like, I'm not sure exactly what we'll do, but I'm thinking like we'll tell the cat, like maybe we'll make the cat poof away when you don't have your dash. We shall see. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think we'll work on the animations too. I want to give it like an actual flying animation. This jank whatever the hell it's trying to do here looks weird. Alrighty, people. If you guys want to wishlist a game, there's also, if you want to wishlist it, the Steam page is there. Greatly helps with the Steam algorithm, but also there's a demo there. So if you actually want to try the game, you can. And I'll be updating that demo. I usually update it, I want to say once a month. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Let's see who we got. A lot of great streamers streaming today. We got Art, we got Bad Cop, we got Papa Phantom, we got Mudbound. TY for the stream. Thank you for watching. Is he doing another 100-hour stream? There's no way, right? Super Bass. No, yeah. Alright. Yeah, other group from Mudbound, Papa Phantom, Bad Cop, rolling my own off. Alright. Is there anyone in particular you guys want? Because I think I might go for Papa Phantom. Oh, Papa Phantom's on a stretch break. How long is that lasting for? You want to go for the cup hanger? We'll go for him. He's starting up. Okay, let's do it. Zorsheimer? Who's Zorsheimer? NES.
Let's find out. Alright, so we added the...
I'll give him a follow.
Stuff.
Maybe we can rate him next time.
We're doing that now. So change the position, okay. Going up.
Alrighty,
Okay.
people.
Check to the ceiling.
Till next time.
Check the
They're doing
vertical.
NES development. That's pretty cool. I actually find that stuff pretty interesting.
Trying to
assembly
figure out
stuff, right?
Why is 8? Why is Y8? That's not right.
Alrighty, people. Bye.